Kasia. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I've got a new friend here today, Kasia, and it's our first time meeting. I've been introduced to Kasia from a very lovely mutual friend that we have. Jeez, why am I forgetting?
Alva.
Alva. Oh yes. Alva has been such a lovely contact for me, for lovely people. She's just always introduced me to lovely people. So I'm super excited to get a chance to chat with you today about who you are. Please tell me about you. Tell me about yourself. Tell me what happened to you. Tell me what you found. Tell me what you learned. And tell me what you're doing because of what you've learned.
Wow, many questions. That's wonderful. I love it. So thank you very much for connecting today, because it is wonderful. And I can say exactly the same thing about Alva. I think she's really a beautiful being. So connecting other people, which is wonderful. So I don't know where to start, because you just asked so many questions.
Well, first tell me about you. First tell me about you. Tell me what did you do? What are you doing? What do you do? What happened to you? What tell me your story. How old are you? Are you married? Do you have children? Tell me about you, please, lovely.
Wow. So maybe I'm going to start with what I do at the moment, like what is really my focus, how I serve, and then I think it's going to unfold itself.
Okay, wonderful.
So I support health seekers, that's really how I call it, who want to really overcome health issues, but not necessarily, it doesn't need to be related to health issues, but obviously many people struggle with all kinds of conditions. So I offer holistic support to help them overcome those conditions completely naturally, using holistic detox, fruit, fasting, and what I call self-directed compassion, which is really supporting that process in many different levels. So what I really recommend, I don't want to really recommend anything, but what I suggest is to live as naturally as possible. And the way I explain is not only to be in nature, to live with nature, but be nature. Because we are part of the entire existence. We are not disconnected. So we are nature. So the more we return to the natural state of being, the healthier we are. There will be no problem with our health. There will be no health conditions if we just live the way we are really designed to live.
100%, I agree with you. So tell me, how did you find this out? How old are you?
I am, I think, as I mentioned, so I always laugh actually when I hear that question, because for me, many things like age, distance simply don't exist. So, but of course, when it comes to human lives, I'm 53. So that journey, the point where I am now, it's really how I was guided, and obviously I've experienced in the past many health conditions myself. So it took me many years, and I really mean many years, of trying all kind of things, diets, all ways of healing, all kind of remedies. I mean, I could list so many things. The list would be very, very long. And eventually coming to the point that only the human body can heal itself. Nothing can heal it. Literally nothing. We can only support the body with the best conditions so that the body can actually start the healing, the self-healing process. And only that worked for me. So this is basically what I'm sharing now and how I support people, how I guide people, those who are open and ready for that step.
So what sort of health challenges did you have?
It started quite early, like very early in my probably childhood state. I had some allergies, like eye allergies, sometimes skin allergies. At that time, obviously, I wasn't aware of that at all. Like many people, we learn how to live with those things. In my holistic book.
Okay.
Yeah, wonderful. So I'm going to just continue what I started. So at
Wonderful.
some point, I developed very frequent colds that would always end up with very nasty dry cough that would last even for several weeks, and it was just worse and worse. And then there was one moment when I had the realization that I was addicted to sugar. I was consuming for many years sweet things, including sugar, like literally white refined sugar. I mean, it was so bad. And of course, at that point, even as a child, and at that point, I just didn't realize what I was doing. I was literally eating white sugar with bread. So it was to that point. And I ended up eating some sugary snacks every single day. There was literally no day to go without, or chocolate. Like if I start chocolate, I would just finish in 10 minutes the entire bar. That was just normal for me. So there were things that were adding to that list, like anxiety. At some point, I really developed acne. That was also huge for me because it was like particularly appearing on my face. So there were days when I literally didn't even go outside because I just felt awful. And fatigue, the anxiety was really draining my life. At some point, I hit really quite deep depression, and I really didn't know how I even functioned at that time. Like getting out of bed was quite a thing for me. So and then I started to really realize the moment when I had the realization that I was addicted to sugar. It was quite a turning point for me, and literally that journey of self-discovery and self-healing started really at that point. But it was a long process, long journey, really.
So what did you find? How did you find your way to back to health? Like what method? How did you find fasting? How did you find raw foods? How did you find fruits? Like what sort of thought process did you find that led you to these things?
Yeah, so basically, I replaced sugar with fruits. That was the solution at that point. And that was really the first time when I started to eat more fruits, like introducing more fruits, simply because the cravings for sugar was that was still there. But I've realized very quickly when I was eating fruits, that was just a lot easier. I actually didn't even crave that sugar anymore. And then at some point, I was never really into eating meat, or it was more probably dairy products actually than meat. But at some point, I've decided to go like completely plant-based, and very quickly, my body like naturally guided me to start eating completely raw. That was never my intention, but I just realized at some point I didn't cook anything. I was eating completely raw. And switching to fruit nourishment, which is really my only nourishment, fruits and just some small amounts of leafy greens, lettuces, just to be precise. That's really all I eat at the moment. That was again just completely natural process. Like I rely on my body 100%, how my body is guiding me.
Mhm.
And because I know I can trust my body, I totally rely on that. So whenever I
Intuition is developing your own intuition or your own inner
absolutely,
wisdom. We have to find this inside of ourselves to guide ourselves through self-healing, right? This
absolutely, yeah. I mean, we all have access what I call the inner wisdom.
mm-hmm.
We've been never disconnected with that. It's
Mm-hmm.
only because the body very often gets so toxic, and the mind as well. Because I always say that in a toxic body, we cannot expect a clean, clear mind.
No. this I was so confused by the mess, emotional and physical mess and toxicity inside of myself. This is the
Yeah,
shadow. It's inside of ourself, inside of our lymphatic system, inside of our immune system. The
exactly.
darkness, the emotional,
Yeah,
and the chemical, and the addiction, and the sugar, and the putrefaction of foods and meats and dairies and sugars and starches and fermentation and virus and bacteria and darkness. That's the darkness right there. Like that is your
absolutely.
shadow. That is the devil.
And I think this is probably I would even nominate as the hardest thing, probably the one that really impacts everyone in the most. It's probably in the strongest way. The conditions, the programming that we all experience, unfortunately, in the old system, and that is really draining us from energy, or just keeping in a very low state of consciousness, low energy.
It's a
uh,
thought process. It's a thought paradigm that's, feeding you. It's feeding your addiction. It's feeding your
exactly.
work. It's feeding your relationships. It's a virus. It's a bacteria. It's a devil. It's like a low version of yourself. It's a physical version of yourself, and there is a higher version of yourself that's available, and you can reach to it, but you have to do some things in order to prepare yourself for it. Like you have to clean out your body, and
Yeah,
then this cleans out your mind and cleans out your emotional body. And this waste comes from the body, like it's eliminated from the body. And so also goes the disease and the pain and the sickness and the addiction and the trouble, the emotional trouble, the lament, the sorrow, the anger, the frustration, the emotional things, the embarrassment. It's really facing the shadow. It's looking inside of yourself and cleaning yourself up.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And all this really impacts us enormously. Um, so this is really all what I've experienced. Um, And the final step to really switch from all the addictions, because I think the addictions were really the strongest. Like I realized at some point that it wasn't only just the sugar addiction, it was just food addiction. And then the salt. The salt was actually the hardest for me. It took the longest. I mean, it's so addictive. And it's obviously a poisonous drug. And the final step, like really the final step to free myself, to completely liberate from this, it was actually a water fast. It was a 21-day water fast that I did, 3 weeks. And that really set me free. I mean, that was amazing. And that's really when the body had the chance to clean itself. That was the self healing that my body needed, and that worked in a beautiful way.
What a story. Thank you so much for sharing with me today, Kasia. I hope we
Thank
can
you.
meet and talk again. Um, I know you have a little bit of a time thing today and you have to run. So hopefully we can talk some more about these things another time. I really
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we can schedule. So I will know I
yeah,
need to
so
schedule a bit more time.
yeah, right. So we could schedule a time to talk a little bit more detail about all of it. I would love to really tease it out and talk about the lifestyle so people can learn and understand. It's to bring clarity to people, right? It's to share something that we can help people to come out of the paradigms, the stuck ideas. And
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I feel it's very important. It's vital, really, to understand what we are experiencing globally. And of course, I'm not talking about the virus or viruses, because it looks like they are spreading now. At least what they're called, viruses. I'm not talking about that. There is something much deeper, um, and so much more important than that. And this is really the fact that we are living on a new planet Earth now. The planet Earth is not the same anymore, because the planet Earth entered the new cycle that happens in about every 26 million years. So when that cycle happens, the planet really evolves. And up to now, what would happen on the planet Earth, that all humanity would be wiped off in some kind of disaster or something. It's for the first time in history that the humanity has been given the chance to actually stay here and evolve with the planet Earth. The planet Earth is it's a new planet now. It's a living organism. It has consciousness. It evolves. And we have been invited to evolve to higher states of consciousness with the planet Earth. So, whether we are aware of that or not, we all wanted to be here now to experience this. The fact that we are living on this planet, it's not a coincidence, because there is no such thing in nature, in universe, like coincidences. So that's why we're experiencing what we call global awakening, or the big transition, the transformation. So what we are actually experiencing, like what I call, we are being cleansed. This is not really what even we are doing. This is all happening for us. We are just invited, we are participating in this extremely unique experience that no one had a chance to experience before. Can you believe it? Like, what we are really here for? I mean, this is huge.
it's very exciting. I'm not sure what we are here for. I came to this from healing myself. I didn't come to this for a global unification of any kind, but there does seem to be a collective rising of
It is.
more of this. Like and I'm seeing it being stifled as well too. Like it's not being able to be shared. Like it's being censored. It's not being shared. It's being hidden. It's always hidden. It's always been hidden, and it's unfortunate that we have this power to fix and change and heal ourselves, and we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I really feel. It's just a unique chance for every human being, because of course we are living in oneness. We are just one consciousness, but at the same time we are experiencing this human life in this human body. So, but of course, there is no separation. So that's also something that it's really important to grasp, like how this is all happening.
Paradox of it, the duality of it. It's
Yes, it's
right.
very
So,
misleading. It's very confusing.
right.
And
Yes.
this is what I feel is probably one of the main causes to really the troubles, the challenges that we experience. Because if we really,
The paradox, the confusion of the paradox, like the
yeah,
misunderstanding of the paradox, not understanding that this is not a bad energy and a good energy, but two of the same, two loving, just oppositional energies, mirror opposite energies. These are the two.
absolutely.
They're not bad. No one is bad. The other idea is not bad. It's to see the other is not a bad guy, right? To see love in all things. Love, I know you have to go. I want to be conscious of your time.
I still have 15 minutes.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
Okay.
another 15 minutes, I can still talk.
Okay. Yes, love, this is it. This is what I'm seeing. I'm in complete agreement with you. Like, uh, we have to find the natural law. We have to find the laws of nature. We have to find the authentic truth. We have to come away from kind of the misleading ideas. We've all been taught ideas
Yeah.
about an understanding of love, about an understanding of relationship, about an understanding of health. And, these are all vibration, about an understanding of abundance, about an understanding of poverty, or all of this disease, all of this is about a frequency or a vibration. It's to see that all of these things are related. It's all health. It's all wealth or prosperity or empowerment. It's all loving relationships. It's all love and kindness. And it begins by shifting your focus from, external to internal. Like it's opening up your inside eye instead of reacting externally. It's really, how is this affecting me internally, emotionally, energetically? And what can I do on a daily basis to make sure that I am expanding or getting into alignment with the nature, which is constantly expanding and changing? So if I'm not constantly expanding and changing, I'm dying. I'm falling away from the nature. I'm denaturing. Like, if I want to get back into nature, I need to get up every day, and I need to make that decision again today that I'm going for my best and I'm on my way there. And this is just one step along the way there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's really a wonderful way of putting this together. And all that you've mentioned, it's also very important to understand. It took me some time to understand really that those things don't just happen to us. Those things, like, we need to approach this new approach. Basically, it has to happen consciously. It really needs to come from us. This is not like the way we have senses, so we can see, we can hear. They literally just happen to us. We don't do anything. We don't do anything that our heart beats. But if we want to experience some change, we need to approach this consciously. And as you are saying, every day it's a wonderful opportunity. And it's a process. It's also very important to understand that this is a process. It's a process of evolving into higher state of consciousness. And at the same time, I know that I was using that phrase for many years, that I was comparing life to a journey, but actually this is not a journey. We are not really going anywhere, because at the same time, if we understand that we can only experience in life this very moment, there's nothing else. There's no yesterday, there's no tomorrow. Those things are just an illusion. It's just created by the mind. And if we are able to focus, to be in the body, because that's really where we should be, not in our mind, but in the body. When we are really fully in the body, there is nothing else. It's just this very moment. And this very moment never starts, never ends. It's just infinity. And this is so beautiful and it's so powerful that in this very moment everything is perfect. We don't want to change anything because there's no need to change anything.
To see our eternal or our infinity every single day, to come out of our problems, our troubles, our worries, our finite, our mortality, and to step into our immortality, or to step into our possibility, right? We have to come out of the mind and all of the trouble, all of the things that we've got going on. Just put it down for a second. In the East, they say, take an act of refuge. Put things down for a moment and just think about coming into the breath, the presence. Just come into the breath, come into the body, come into the gut brain, come into the parasympathetic, come into the feeling, into the emotion, into the feminine, into the imagination. Yes.
And this is so simple, as you've just described. This is so simple, and I think it's so simple to the point that most people don't get it.
Yes.
And it's simply because the mind is always looking for complexity. The mind wants simple things, and we just still don't realize how simple it is, and that's life generally. Like a simplicity, what I always quote, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. If we really bring the simplicity in life and we really search for simplicity, not complexity, this is going to be huge.
So Kasia, you are helping people with health ailments, and you're helping people that are having trouble finding their way to restoring their best health.
Yes, that's one of my main reasons at the moment why I do this, because I see so many people struggling with all kind of health conditions. And obviously this is happening for a reason as well. This is what I mentioned before about what we are experiencing globally. So like at the moment on this planet, and you've mentioned about frequencies as well, this is something that maybe we could just tap in another time because this is something that absolutely fascinates me.
Oh, good.
Yeah, in many ways. I find this, I mean, I can't sleep sometimes because I experience more that is coming to me. And this is
coming to you. Yes, this is coming to you, love.
exactly, yeah. So so the frequencies on this planet are much higher already comparing to what was even last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that impacts all of us enormously. We are not going to be able to stay the same and live a happy and healthy life. This is simply not going to be possible. We have to evolve. There's no other way. That's why so many people experience now the urge to cleanse, to detox, and they become more aware that the conditions, the health conditions, they need to do something with this. So this is really the reason why I decided to offer that support, because I know this is really needed. And
Mm-hmm.
what's a much better way, what's more beautiful and powerful way than overcoming those health conditions and at the same time discovering our true self, our true nature, who we really are.
Yes.
Because the way I support, the way I guide, it's really self-discovery journey.
Self-love, self-love, kindness to self, being your own best friend, loving yourself in your life.
Exactly.
Yes, aligning yourself with the nature. The nature is love. Just aligning with that.
Absolutely. And we are love, we are abundance, we are freedom. This is our natural state. That's who we are.
And
We
it
are
seems
light.
some people have been given this information. Some people have been given this information earlier for some reason, like to be prepared to kind of be ahead, to kind of guide other people how to do this.
Exactly.
That's what I see. That's what I see.
Exactly. I mean, I now at this stage I know. Like it took me a good few years
Right. You
to
didn't know what's
accept
going
that.
on. I don't know why I'm doing this. I just know I need to do this.
Oh yes, you definitely need to, and we need more. We need more because the more all of us we can really do this support, the quicker the light, the freedom we are going to experience as oneness. That's why this is so important to connect, to support each other. So we are not in the old system anymore, and thank God for that. When there was so much competition, now it's the opposite. It's collaboration, it's support, it's helping each other. This is how we are really connecting now, and we are not connecting because of words are just very shallow and it's just touching the surface. It's really the energy, the frequency, how we really connect with other people. That's the true
Aquarius.
connection.
This is the Aquarius. It's the feminine now. It's the feminine. It's the
Yeah.
age of the feminine now. It's the age of feeling body. We
Yes,
got to come out of the mind. We have to come out of the masculine in the competition. Yes, and collaboration is loving relationship, emotional body, energy body. Yes, I'm in agreement with you, love.
exactly.
Yes. So we have to meet again. We have to talk again. We have to make some plans about how we can share more of these things.
It would be wonderful. Absolutely. I think this is just our introduction today.
Ex-
That's what I feel. You see, this is what the frequency is telling me now.
Excellent. Thank you so much today, Kasia. Great to meet
Thank
you.
you so much, John, for connecting. It's really my pleasure. It's absolutely wonderful to connect with you. And yeah, let's schedule some time
Yeah.
and let's meet and
Yeah.
let's share, because it's all really about sharing, isn't it?
Yes. Lovely friend. I will see you again soon.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.